Hey fish friends, thought I'd do a little video today talking about 3D backgrounds. I've had a lot of questions and comments surrounding this background, and thought I'd talk about it briefly and then really talk about the pros and cons that I've found with this background. This background is, so this is my 75-gallon Malawi tank, so got peacock's haps and some mbuna in there. I've had to be a little bit more selective on the species of mbuna as I've had some aggression. But anyway, this background is a DIY background that I made, and it was actually one that I had in my brain for, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 years. I'd been thinking about how I wanted to build this background and wanted to do it on another tank that I had, but that never came to fruition. So what this is this is a combination of expanding foam. So it's great stuff foam, and it has it's covered in sand and concrete, and it has a couple pieces of wood embedded in there. And it was basically what it is. I made a mold and of the tank, and then took that mold or template, and then ended up you know, using the foam and setting it and curing it in concrete, etc. When I designed this, I designed it with a lot of space behind. So, for example, there's filtration behind the 3D background, so you can't see anything. There's a large hang on the back filter on one side, and then I've got an overflow tube for my sump on the other side, and then inlets on both sides. So there's a power head back there. You can see the bubbles coming out. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the background that you can't see, which really helps with kind of the look of the tank and giving it a more natural appeal. The heater, originally I had it in the tank, and then I put it in the sump underneath to just have a little bit more free space behind there. And it's you know, it's a great, it really adds to the look of the tank, I think. I'm really happy with the way that it's come out. It's, you know, had a little bit of algae forming on it, and that kind of comes and goes, but I think that really helps in kind of giving it a Lake Malawi kind of a look. Another real, you know, benefit of the 3D background, especially because of the caves and spaces that I created in the tank, is that it provides a lot of hiding spaces for the fish. So any fish that is a little shy, you know, not wanting to be bullied, or for whatever reason, they can go into various places in the background. You can see on the right side there that, well, he just stuck his head out. I've got a beautiful OB peacock, kind of by that yellow lab right now, but it hides in that hole. He's a big one, but he's kind of made that his home. But what I found is several of the fish kind of have their spot, and it really helps in reducing aggression. The centerpiece is a man-made piece. Actually, I made something similar out of concrete and stone and foam, but it was a little bit too large, and unfortunately, it was a little too buoyant as well. I did save it for a future build, but I ended up buying this piece and putting it in there. But you know, that really helps to break up the line of sight and help with fish being chased. But back to the background, you know, the good about the background is it, you know, it's aesthetically pleasing, so it's great to look at. It really adds a natural look. It hides the filtration. It hides you know, other things that you might want to have in a tank if you don't have a sump, like heaters, etc., power heads, water movers, etc. It also provides a lot of great hiding places for fish as well. So that's the good. But there are a lot of, not a lot, but there are a few things about the 3D background that I don't like. One of the things that I don't like about it is it doesn't always allow you to see all of the fish. Because it does provide hiding places, there are times when I don't see a fish for 3 or 4 days or a week or so, not even knowing if he or she is in the tank, and having to really go hunting and looking for that fish. I have that with my yellow labs. So I have 4 yellow labs in this tank. It's very common that I only see 1 or 2 at a time. Like right now, you can see there's 1 in there, but I know that there's 3 others, a couple big males actually. But you know, they spend their time in the caves and behind the rock, and you really don't see them. A lot of activity right now because it's post feeding time, so usually every time after I feed. Oh, there you can see a lab coming out there on the bottom on the right side. But every time after I feed, they kind of go a little bit nuts for a while and start to bicker and fight and, try to show who's boss and establish dominance again. Then it kind of goes peaceful again after a while. But so anyway, that's one of the bad parts about the background is that it hides the fish. So if you want to have something that shows your fish all the time, then you're going to want to have a background that doesn't allow the fish to go back and hide and have any caves. So there are some backgrounds that you can purchase, or you can make some that are 3D backgrounds. They just don't have the ability to have fish go behind them, so they can't hide, so they're always visible. The other part about the background that I don't necessarily enjoy is it is a real pain trying to catch a fish. So actually, I had 3 red zebras. I had a Johanny, and one other. I had 2 red zebras, a Johanny, and 2 Kenyais that I pulled out of the tank. They were great when they were smaller, and then they started getting bigger and more aggressive and becoming bullies, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. And it was basically all of the fish were on one side of the tank, and I had one of the mbunas that was just dominating the whole half of the tank. And so I ended up trading those in at the local fish store for some fish in here, and as well as some of the fish for my other tanks as well. So it's great, and they got to get a new home, and hopefully they're in a mbuna only tank moving forward. But so catching fish can be a real pain. Some of the fish were easy to catch, and some of them it probably took me an hour just being patient and kind of sitting there with a couple of nets and baiting them out with some food and things like that. But so it's difficult, in that regard as well. The other thing is, you really have to be careful with water movement. There are a couple spots back there where the water movement is not ideal. And I do see where there is some places where there's some buildup of detritus, etc. Now behind there on the left side of the tank, I have the outlet for the hang on the back. So I have a large Penguin 350 back there. And then on the right side, I have the overflow for the sump that's underneath the tank. And then on both sides, I've got the outlets for, or the inlets or whatever you want to call it, for the water coming back in, and as well as the power head on the right side there blowing, as you can see the bubbles. So there is, there's lots of filtration on this tank. I'm probably moving, I don't know, close to 8 to 10 times per hour of the total tank volume, including the sump volume. So, I'm doing well there, but there are a couple spots that when I do my water changes, I make it a point to point the Python hose that's filling the tank back up towards those areas to kind of stir it up and kick up any dead spots, and then I'll reverse it and suck it back out. So that's kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's beautiful in my opinion, and I've had a lot of people comment on it, in videos and in various Facebook groups, etc. But at the same time, it does have its there are some downsides to the tank or to the background, and but I think the benefits far out, the pros definitely far outweigh the cons when you think about the look, as well as creating a more natural habitat for the fish, as some of these are cave-dwelling fish in the wild. And in Lake Malawi, if you were to look at like a documentary, you'd see a lot of fish that were actually living in caves and things like that. And it does provide some shelter and some hiding spots, which I think helps in reducing aggression or having a single fish targeted. So anyway, that is my kind of that's my take and my thoughts on the background. And again, I'm happy with it. It was a design I had in my head for a long time. I built it, and actually since this one, I built some other ones as well, and probably continue to create different 3D backgrounds in years to come for various tank builds, either for myself or for even customers that might want to have a 3D tank background. So. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the video. Please feel free to like and subscribe and comment. Welcome your feedback, your input, your own experiences. and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.